Hello and very good evening to all our viewers. You're watching www.ThePapare.com, the number one sports hub in Sri Lanka. And today's big clash between the defending champions, Kandy Sports Club, will be playing against the Havelock Sports Club. Also joining me in the commentary box, twins, also known as Gunathilaka brothers, Jeevan and Jayan is joining us in the commentary box. Gentlemen, Happy New Year first of all, and what do you think about this clash today?
Yeah, Happy New Year, Sabir. Yeah, and very good evening to you. Yeah, it's going to be a cliffhanger, Sabir. You know, much awaited game. You know, the two unbeaten sides are finally clashing in the new year. What a way to start the new year.
Sabir, we have a fantastic game in store for us. Kandy was tested a couple of weeks ago against CR, a game they should probably have won, but they did that game exposed a few weak links in the Kandy team. So Havelocks will be quite confident playing at home today, Sabir.
Absolutely. Looking at the spectators, the numbers have turned in for this big clash. We didn't see this much of crowd so far this season, and hopefully they will witness a good clash out here. And also there are a few interesting changes in the team, Jayan. And we'll firstly go with the Havelock's team card. We have Dushmanta Priyadarshana playing as a loose head prop, and also Prasad Madhushan, who's playing as a hooker, and he has scored few tries so far. And Ganuka Disanaka, the Isipatana boy, he's starting today wearing number 29. And Jason Milda and Janik Jayasuriya in the lock combination, and Shenal Dias is back. That will give some huge boost for the Havelock Park Club, because he was out for few weeks and few years rather due to his studies, and it'll be interesting how he's going to play. And Umesh Madhushan, young royalist who played for the under-20, he's back in the flanker spot. Also Sudarshan Muthutantri, who captained Havelocks last year, will be the number 8 for today's clash. And Rahul De Silva at number 9, and Rimzi Jamaldin, 4th highest point scorer so far, he's in the number 10. And Randita Varnapura will be the blind wing, and Hiranta Pereira and Captain Sandun Herat. Quite interestingly, we have a center combination, because Sandun, he played most of his rugby in the wing position. It will be interesting how he is going to manipulate the opposite team today. We'll see. And Nishan Pereira coming from National Under-20, and along with the Peter Wright, his captain Kevin Dixon will be the fullback for today's game. And we'll go through with the Kandy Sports Club. Pibal Manchanayaka, Damit Nisanayaka, the hooker, Kishore Jahan, the experience at number 1. All three have scored more than 2 tries so far in the season. So we have seen a mobile front row and equally good Havelocks as well. Also Gayan Ratnayaka and Dimitri Vijaytunga will be the lock combination for the defending champions. And Suhiro Anthony, Heshan Kalhara and Bunako Rangamu will be the back 3. And scrum half, the experience Roshan Veeratna and Fazil Marija moving from center place, where he started few games last 2 weeks, and he's moved up to the first 5 spot. The captain Fazil Marija, and also Vishwamitra Jaisingh, he's also starting after the first match he started, so he's starting again the 6th match, that is today. And also Gayan Veeratna and Richard Dharmapala, 2 good center combinations. And Lavanga Pereira will be number 14, the winger, and Arshad Jamaldin, the leading point scorer, will be the fullback. So Nigel Rathwate is not playing today. Congratulations for him, he became a father. And also these are the bench, as you can see on your screen. Havelocks Anjana Udara, Liston Flackney, Situm Peris, Rohita Rajapaksha, Lasindu Ishan, Andrew Bradley, Samantha Lakshan, and Tusida Samarathilaka. And also Kandy bench, Uchita Jayasuriya, who started last week, and he was starting from the bench, coming from the bench rather. And Yaqub Ali, we didn't see much impact so far by Yaqub Mohammed Ali. We'll see how he's going to come and make some impact today in this clash. Also Lasita Atanagoda, Shahan Patirana, Shashika Jawadana, 7th sensation Srinath Surya Bandara, Tirina Vijay Singh, and Danush Dayan will be the rest of the Kandy bench. Thoughts on the team cards, gentlemen?
Yeah, interesting names on the team cards, but yeah, as you see, Vishwamitra doing his drill there. I mean, he's a key player. He's been a quality player for Sia and also the Upcountry Lions. He's fully deserved his start today. Apart from the impressive names on the team cards, I think also the names that are missing should be mentioned. You know, there's no Danushka Ranjan. Huge blow for Havelocks. I think, you know, that's a huge blow which they must be, you know, really ruining at the moment, and Kandy won't be too upset. But Kandy have their own woes at the moment. Ratwata is not playing either, so that should even it out to a certain extent. Good evening, Shanaka.
Very good evening, Jeevan. Good evening, Jan, and Happy New Year to both of you, and Happy New Year to everyone joining us on this live broadcast at ThePapare.com. As he was saying, Danushka Ranjan, a massive void for Coach Laga to fill. He's filled it with Sandun Herat, although Nishan Pereira has experience in that number 13 position. He's moved Nishan to the wing, and Arshad Jamaldeen coming in under pressure as well at fullback for Kandy SC. He will be the one that they look to score the points early on if Havelocks concede penalties. But both teams pretty much decimated by injury, but still easily the top two teams in the competition so far, and it's been a fantastic lead up to this competition. We had a superb game earlier on, 21-20 between Navy and CRNFC, and Fazil Marija giving the last few tips to his team, prepping them up. What do you think he's saying there, Jan?
Well, Chanaka, I think they are trying to first get used to the conditions, get used to the atmosphere. They're playing away from home. A couple of weeks ago, they played at Racecourse and it didn't go down too well. It was probably their weakest performance all season. But interesting, it's going to be quite a game, and the fact that Danushka Ranjan is not playing, in a sense, it will require Havelocks to have that complete team performance if they're going to upstage this Kandy team. So you never know, these things work out in funny ways. It's never about the individual, it's about the team. So all in all, I think we're in for one mega game of rugby today.
Yeah, I'm sure we are, because the carnival atmosphere that's here around the ground, it's good to see that the Havelock Park has filled out almost to its capacity. Still a few seats available. I think the rain clouds have well and truly stayed away, and the Havelock's ground looking a picture, actually a little wet, a little sodden underfoot, to be honest. But do you think the conditions will play a factor in today's proceedings, Jeevan? Because it is a night game after all.
I don't think so, Shanaka. I mean, Havelock's train here, so for them when they're playing at home, Kandy are just an outstanding team, Shanaka. You know, whatever conditions are thrown at them, they'll come out on top. I don't think the conditions have anything to do with it. In fact, I think it's a wonderful day for rugby. It's not too hot, it's not too humid. The lights are, looking down on us. Excellent. No one could have asked for a better stage.
Coach Sean Vijayasinghe coming up against his old mentor, Coach Tavita Tulagesi, the Samoan national who began his career as a player here in Sri Lanka, then coached those very successful Royal sides, which caused you guys a bit of strife, Jeevan and Jan. And now he's back to coach several clubs. He coached Kandy to very many league titles. Then he coached CRNFC, got them to a Clifford Cup as well. And now Javi's benefiting from his experience.
Yeah, Laga knows his way around Sri Lanka. That it's very important. When you coach at this level, you must, it's your relationship with the players goes a long way. He knows how our Sri Lankan players think. He knows the requirements of our Sri Lankan players. So having him as coach is very important. It's not a coincidence that teams that are coached by him do well, Shanaka.
And there's also a big name that, although we don't have Danushka Ranjan on the team sheet for Havelocks, there's a massive name that makes a comeback, and that is Shanal Dias. How much do you think he's going to impact proceedings from the second row, Jan?
I think Shanal Dias is a phenomenal athlete, Shanaka. And like you said, though the Danushka Ranjan is not part of the team today, Shanal Dias will look to give Havelocks a bit of an edge, especially in the set plays, and he'll be absolute menace at line-out time. And he's an experienced player. So, it's going to be an interesting game. It'll be interesting to see how the teams contend with the ball going up in the Yashanaka with the lights fairly low at Havelock Park.
Yes,
so maybe that will be used as a bit of a weapon by Havelocks today.
I'm sure they will be. And we see the crowd that has already filled this Havelocks stadium. Still a few more minutes for kickoff, and judging by the cars outside, still few people clamoring to get in.
Probably not too many people in Kandy today, Shanaka.
Well, not many, I don't think. All the traveling Kandy fans would have made it down here. They normally play their games on Sunday in Kandy, but it's a Saturday game for the Kandy lads as referee D. Nimal walks out with Irshad Kader. They will be the assistant referees today, and Aruna Rankotge will be refereeing today's game. We saw the earlier game between CRNFC and Navy, the penalty count really stacking up for both teams. And hopefully these two teams will be a bit more disciplined and help the referee to entertain this crowd. That's something that I think the players have got to contribute to as well. Jeevan, you're a coach. How do you tell these players to avoid giving penalties? How do you motivate them?
Well, it's a difficult thing to do, Shanaka. Telling players to do things and seeing the end result are completely different. But having said that, again, I think the way referees blow also matters a lot. And I think Aruna Rankotke is an excellent referee for a game like this, because he's one of the referees that lets the game flow. He plays advantage. He lets irrelevant, inconsequential things go, which is what we need to see, because everyone's here to see rugby. Everyone wants to see 15 players take on 15 players. They're not here to see the referee blow the whistle. So I think we couldn't have asked for a better referee, and I think it all augurs well for excellent game of rugby today, Shanaka.
Yeah, I hope so too, as we saw our Member of Parliament Nama Rajapaksa in the crowd, just fresh from watching his brother score a 70-meter try. Gents, I don't know whether you guys saw it, but he picked up a loose ball from Sia attack that bounced over the winger's head and collected the ball and raced 70 meters downfield, beating the fullback as well. Never imagined he had so much pace. So Namal was quite pleased about it. He said, "Yeah, he's got a bit of gas, hasn't he?" I met him after the game. He's like, "Yeah, he's got gas."
So maybe he'll get to see younger brother Rohit Rajapaksa to play a pivotal part in the match at some point today, Shanaka. He might even score end-to-end try himself.
Yeah, you got Namal watching both his brothers play today on this double header on ThePapare.com, and you can make sure you follow us on Facebook.com, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and SoundCloud. SoundCloud, where we bring you a big, well, not a big, but a brief roundup of what happened at the game just after the kickoff, just after the final whistle is blown, rather. And we make sure that you have yourself up to date on the SoundCloud, so you don't need to read any articles. Just switch to SoundCloud and stick the phones in your ear, or keep your phone on in your car, wherever it is you are, and you can get the gist of what happened at the game. And then of course you can read very informative analytical articles on ThePapare.com as well, which will be up on the day after the game. And look forward also to the breakdown, where we look back at this weekend's proceedings, the first weekend of 2016. Welcome all of you to ThePapare.com. A happy new year. If this is the broadcast you are joining, a happy new year to all our fans in Kandy, those who couldn't make it down to Colombo today and who are watching eagerly in Kandy. We know how Kandy Sports Club is venerated here, and it really is something that Sean has worked on tremendously in the off season as well. Jivan and Jan, there's a lot of good interplay between the forwards. We've got Shehan Pathirana coming back into the team as well, so some good skill levels. We should see an entertaining game today.
Oh, definitely, Shanaka. As the Kandy team run out, a lot was said about this Kandy team. A lot was said about their coaching staff, that they've got two inexperienced coaches. But I think as a coach, Kandy is an ideal team to start with, because you've got so much quality there to work with. And they train very hard, they're a very professional outfit, and that's why they've been champions for so long,
Yes, it's going to be an interesting one for sure, as we have Gayan Veeraratna alongside Richard Dharmapala in the centres today. Lavanga Pereira and Vishwamitra Jayasinghe on the wings for Kandy Sports Club, and that lynchman, the kingpin as it were of this Kandy team, Fazil Marija. And Jayan, you'll remember him playing back in the day in 2004 for Kingswood when he was cutting defences open, but physically he's still in some fantastic shape, maybe 12 years later.
Yeah, outstanding, Shanaka, and he's probably the consummate professional that all Sri Lankan sportsmen could look up to. Season on season, I can't remember him ever having a bad season since leaving Kingswood. He's always looked after himself pretty well. He's been fit, and he's something that all Sri Lankan rugby players can take great pride in.
This man on your screen is going to be pivotal today as well, Kishore Jehan, Chila as he is called. And the man next to him walking across there is Damit Disanayaka and Piuman Manchanayaka with the number 3 jersey. That's the front row that's going to have to really contain this Havelock pack today. And they've done so well this season, Jivan. Kandy has not been a set-piece team, but they've really improved that aspect.
Yeah, they've done well, Shanaka. And interestingly, Dimitri, who normally plays prop, is playing in the second row. I think that's just to strengthen their forward pack, their scrum.
Southern Herat leading his team out, and the man following him there, also a gentleman who has done a lot of work carrying the ball this season for the Havies, Dushmanta Priyadarshana in the number 3 jersey. So Shanal Dias rejoining that pack. I'm sure they'll be happy about that. He's going to be playing in the third row, and Rahul De Silva up against the experienced Roshan Veeraratna. Maybe that's where Havelocks might be able to exert a little bit of dominance. Rahul, a young, hungry player, an intelligent player, and whether he will be able to exert a little bit of pressure on his opposite number is what might make or break this game. Havelock's in the huddle. Last words. So Kandy have been out there for a few minutes. Havi's kept them waiting. And that's a little bit of gamesmanship, the intensity that you come onto the park with rubs off a little as Sudarshan Mututantri surveys his opponents this evening. He only knows one way, Jivan, and you've coached him. He's an outstanding player.
Yeah, he's outstanding, Shanaka, one of the best genuine number sevens we have going round. Fantastic. He started rugby quite late, Shanaka. He started rugby when he was 17 years old. Started off as a winger, but then soon converted to as a flanker and hasn't looked back. Outstanding professional like Fazil Marija, trains very hard, understands the demands of being a professional and lives up to it.
Yes, he's playing in the position of number 8, which is never an easy position to take on, as Rimzi Jamaldeen, sporting his new haircut for the year 2016, kicks the game off in the number 10 jersey. Has been outstanding for Havelock so far in the few opportunities that he's got. And Kandy secure the ball from the restart.
Perfect start for Havelock, Shanaka. They've got the ball back, and this is what they need to do. They just have to play the possession and really curtail Kandy's attacking threat.
Yes, it was a good start. Good competency shown by Kandy also at the restart. Don't forget the groundbreaking ThePapare site now brings fun and excitement to the grounds as well with its innovative application, the ThePapare Fan app. You can download the app from the ThePapare Fan Zone on the Google Play Store and head to the grounds to form your own cheer squad. Hope lots of you have done that today at Havelock Park. As the first line out of the game waits
For the ball.
I think he's he hasn't got the ball, so this is the familiar problem that anyone who's played at Havelock Park has to go through. The ball goes over into the BRC grounds or the Colts grounds, which is behind.
Interesting combination, Shanaka. They are playing Sandun Herat at 13 and Nishan Pereira on the wing. Shouldn't it be the other way around?
Well, that's what we talked about at the team sheet as well, as Havelocks win their first line out. But Coach Laga, for some reason, has gone for Sandun Herat, maybe wanting to bring him up against the quality of Richie Dharmapala, who he probably knows well. And Havi's with the first step through the middle. And the loose ball is hacked away by Kandy now. They've got to go back and fall on this one, leaving it behind. But the kick through is good again, and Fazil Marija is herring after this one. And we've got a lot of Premier League football coming up later on this evening, but that was a little bit of a taster.
That's a bit of a coach kill, isn't it, Shanaka? I mean, they were doing everything right, and then the ball goes to ground, and they just fail to control it. And Kandy, about 5-6 meters away from the Havelock's try line.
Yes, that's demotivating stuff, especially when you've got your phasers going. Good jump across from the Havi's defender there. And Havelocks using their bulk at this part of the ground to just clear a little bit of space for their kicker. Rahul De Silva kicks it out himself, hasn't gained many meters, would have probably done a little bit better, giving that to Rimzi Jamaldeen on behind the try line.
Yeah, they probably take it though, Shanaka. They were in a real spot of bother there. It's very handy to have a left-footed player who can kick from the base. It's priceless in situations like that. But like Jayan said, it was absolutely unfortunate that they lost that position of that ball and find themselves in this position.
Damit Disanaika throw into this line out. Well taken at the back by Bhuvanek Udangama, who is now a line out jumper as well. Roshan Veeraratna. Thumping up the middle is Heshan Kalhara. Goes straight through. Mututantri drags him down. And now it's available for a long ball out to Vishwamitra Jayasinghe, who should have done a little bit better than that. The pass was not great, but you'd expect to catch those at this level. And Heshan Kalhara, who's tappe to his mates and has been on the fringes of this Kandy team for a long time, but clearly they've done a lot of work on him, and he's now a genuine starting forward for them.
Correct, Shanak. A lot of these guys who have been fringe players, this season just looked the part. Hard to imagine where they were all this while. Interestingly, we were watching Jayan and I were watching the warm up, and this last pass never went to hand during the warm-up, so we were wondering, generally when things go wrong in the warm-up, they come right in the game. This is the first probably.
Well, I think there might be coaches world over who might disagree with you. a big thump down the field from Jamaldeen, but hasn't found touch. Vishwamitra Jayasinghe takes it nicely, but the pass is not a great one. Arshad Jamaldeen rescues it, and Lavanga Pereira will now be brought into the game. Rahul De Silva comes away with it. And now Nishan Pereira in the number 11 jersey puts it to his boot. Probably should have kept it in hand, as Havelock's had a little bit of momentum. Kandy taking it quickly. Fazil Marija trying to step out of trouble, but the referee has said that they'll come back for the line out.
It's been a bit of a nervy start by both teams, Shanak. Kandy is also making quite a few uncharacteristic errors. They're generally safe as houses at the back, but maybe a bit of nerves occasion maybe unsettling them a bit, Shanaka.
Well, the thing about Nigel Ratwatha, gents, is that he's not a flash player, but he's got all the core skills that you need for whatever position you need to play him in. And he's really a calm head under pressure. He's got so much time, and they will miss that because Arshad Jamaldeen is in his fledgling years as a club player. Sandun Herat brought down by his opposite number. Oh, that's great work by the Kandy 12, Gayan Veeraratne. Strong over that ball. Really did well there. Jamaldeen.
As I said, Shanak, Shinal Das already becoming a menace at the line out.
Indeed. And now a little bit of stepping from Kevin Dixon, who puts the ball to his boot again. It's been the preferred option for a lot of players today. Jamaldeen once again will look to the touchline. Doesn't find it. It's a little bit of mud underfoot. And holding on, says the referee.
Yeah, very unfortunate, Shanaka, like you said. The little bit of water on this ground, was the reason for his downfall there. As we watch this again.
That's yes, he just completely lost his footing. It was Randita Varnapura on that wing out there, trying to play himself into Coach Laga's starting 15.
Well, what's good to see, Shanak, is that Havelock is here to play rugby. They're not here to just, try and spoil and feed off the ruins of Kandy or the missed opportunities. They're here to play rugby on their own account. Which is really good to see.
Well, Coach Laga knows the dressing room well, Giant, so I'm sure he would have told his players that they're not an invincible team. They're not some unbeatable force, as Damit Disanaika's line-out work continues to require improvement. Good shifting of the ball from Muthutantri there at close quarters. Shinal Das immediately into the breakdown.
Ball stolen again, Shanaka again. Excellent scavenging work here.
That was superb work, and they're unlucky to give away the scrum. But that's what Fazil Marija brings to the party. He's so good because of his sevens rugby. So much that he's playing now. It's just an outstanding technique that he displays. And here we go. That's Damit Disanaik over the top, is it? Yes, it looks like it is.
Yeah, yes it is, Shanaka. Excellent work there. Very unlucky not to get the ball back. When I'm looking at this scrum, Shanaka, see how this goes.
It should be an interesting one. Muthutantri waits at the back, picks it up one-handedly. Does well to give it to Rahul. Coming in was Sandun Herat to try and make a half gap, but oh dear, that was left behind by the Havi's prop. That was Ganuka Disanaika, the Isipatana schoolboy.
That's just poor technique, isn't it, Shanak? I mean, coming at that angle, your chances of collecting the ball at that angle are always going to be very slim. So I don't think that's quite really necessary, especially when you're where you are on the field. And at this level, that really shouldn't be the case.
Yes, it's decision making, isn't it? It's about knowing when to run which angles, and the angles that are good for you in the 22 are probably not the ones that are good for you on your 40 or 50 meter line. So just a little bit of decision making that these players will get better at.
We see Janik Jasuri and Jason Melder binding in on the second row. Likewise, we see Dimitri again binding in a second row. Props playing second row, is that in fashion, Shanaka, these days?
Well, I think it is because the front row's techniques are so weak, Jeevan. And that's really the problem that coaches have, because they need to have another body in there to try and hold so that their tight 5 is more a tight 4 and a line-out jumper. You watch it here. Trying to come away with it, and Roshan Weeraratne's back row under severe pressure there.
This has been a hallmark of the season for Kandy. Generally Kandy has been associated with fast open rugby, players like Sanjay Vijayasinghe, Indrajit Bandaranayake, but Kandy have a very, very strong scrum. I think Sean has done a wonderful job. And, they gave CR and FC a torrid time. They're giving Havelocks an equally hard time this evening. The first couple of scrums, I thought I thought Havelocks had their measure, but Kandy seemed to be turning it on, Shanaka, now.
Yes, it's about conditioning, Jan, and I think the conditioning that this Kandy team has, purely due to the recovery and the fact that, there's a lot of professionalism in the Kandy camp up there in Nittavala. And that's a good strike from Arshad Jamaldeen. Easy does it. It's a long penalty as well, which will put even more pressure on this Havelock's team, knowing that he can punish you pretty much from anywhere in the half. So the early lead goes to Kandy Sports Club. It's not going to decide the game, of course, but it will tell people that Arshad Jamaldeen is a force to be reckoned with. And this is the other Jamaldeen at the bottom of your screen, Rimsey, both former Royal captains, to kick off now and hope that Havelocks will be able to pull one back quickly. And gives it to Roshan Weeraratne, who decides to have a go. Marija. Oh dear, that was a bad pass. Well read by Nishan Pereira, I think it was. Jamaldeen plays at fly half, scrum half rather.
Standing start there by Janik Jayasuriya. No momentum at all, but they still got it.
Mudutantri looks to his right but decides to go himself. It's again available for Ganuka Disanayake now. Collects the ball that time, and Rahul De Silva goes both sides of the breakdown.
Again, standing starts, they're going nowhere at the moment, that forward pack is just not lining up enough and they lost the ball.
That's good work again from Kandy. Yeah, it's very poor from Havies because they're not starting from deep enough, are they, Jivan? If you're going to shift the ball at close quarters, you need to give your forwards a little bit of room.
Such a shame, Shanaka, because you find yourself in such a very, very good position on the field, and you make such a hash of it. You expect they got away with it twice, but they still didn't align. They would have been better off just sending the ball through the hands and start again, or even a pick and go.
We watch this when we watch international rugby, Jan, and you watch Kieran Reid shifting it to Jerome Kano in close quarters, and it looks so simple, but it's not easy, is it?
Yeah, it's not easy. It's about timing. It's about practices. That's what you do on the paddock, Shanak. You get the timing right. And you use a tip ball so that you can put someone in space, someone in a better position to carry the ball forward.
That was a good pickup there by Lavanga Pereira, it was.
I think what's very apparent is Kandy is not an unbeatable side. They have their own weaknesses as well. But you just have to be playing good rugby to beat them and make the most of those opportunities.
Gayan Ratnayake winning it in the middle for Kandy. He's been a good servant for Kandy Rugby so far this season. Not a household name, but being very steady in the line out. The ball is with Marija. Goes in, supporting his ball carrier. First man at the ruck, Roshan Weeraratne, sees some space in behind and turns the winger. And that's good defensive work from Vishwamitra Jasinghe and Damit Disanayake combining there to run the Havelock swinger into touch. That's Randita Varnapura.
Yeah, that's just the difference, isn't it, Chanak, between the two sides?
Here's the replay. Varnapura under severe pressure. Vishwamitra Jasinghe does well enough not to let go of him there. And Damit Disanayake helping his winger bundle him out into touch. So that's good percentage play, isn't it?
It's fantastic play, Shanaka, and if you look at it, Kandy have really not had to work too hard, to get yardage on the field and to get possession of the ball. Havelocks is at the moment making life very easy for them. That is precisely what Coach Laga would not want to have.
Yes, he wouldn't want to make sure that Havelocks have to defend for most of this game, because that will really sap these forwards. Shanal Dias is only due back. I'm sure he's in training, but whether he's been in a good pre-season, we don't know. Damit Disanayaka and Prasad Madhushankar, the two hookers. Prasad has been scoring tries galore this season and well won there by Shanal Dias, proving the worth of having a really good line-out jumper in your ranks. Surprised that Kandy are not throwing to Soiru Anthony a bit more at number 2, especially because Damit's throwing is not his greatest strength.
Yeah, and why would you want to come up against Shanal Dias? You know, they could have thrown it to number 1 because only Mudutantri was there with one lifter. So again, experience I think is just playing here on both sides.
Marija to Dimitri Vijayatunga.
Oh, wonderful offload.
Outstanding offload to Heshan Kalhara, who makes it available, and now there's quick ball. Kandy are desperately dangerous from here. Good bust up there by Lavanga Pereira. Roshan Veeraratne sees the space. Another big run by Dimitri Vijayatunga, takes a few defenders, and now the penalty is coming for Kandy again. Veeraratne sees the opportunity. Marija knows that penalty is coming, and he takes a drop goal, which doesn't end up in anything, and the penalty will be to Kandy Sports Club.
It's all Kandy at the moment, isn't it, Chanaka? You know, like I said, Havelock seems to be a bit slow in picking things up. Kandy went with the short line out, and Havelock's they weren't at home, the defenders, you know, and it could have come off a lot worse. And I think right now Havelocks would have settled for a penalty, but
no, I think they got the call wrong, Jan. I think they've it's actually a scrum advantage.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So I think we are not the only. I think
well, if
Marija wasn't the only one.
Pulled, yeah, I think we have an excuse being so far up here.
Yeah.
Veeraratne though with a good attacking opportunity now.
It's a good thing it didn't happen in the 79th minute, Chanaka.
Buaneka Udangamua looks for some space. Eventually wrestled to the ground after a storming run. Mututantri yelling at what he thinks is an infringement there. This is one area though of his game that he has to improve, Jeevan, especially if he's going to be a leader and a captain and a pack leader at that. He allows his emotions to get the better of him sometimes, sometimes maybe a little bit too intelligent for his own good. He sees offences that sometimes the referees don't see.
Yeah, now for example, there's nothing there. In fact, I thought Havelocks, if you look at the replay, which is just about to come up, you know, it was the Shanal Dias. You know, at the moment, I think he's got his hands on the ground and he's not supporting his own body weight. So he shouldn't be aggrieved, actually. Mudutantri should be relieved that he's got the ball back on that one.
Yep, exactly. So that's why some players only see things through their own lens, which is why referees' jobs are so difficult, because you're guaranteed to have at least 50% of people disagreeing with you all the time.
And another thing that actually the referees have, as a union, have pointed out is they don't encourage players to react like that, because once spectators see players react like that, they naturally feel that the referees got it wrong, you know, which creates a very wrong impression and leads to, you know, unnecessary pressure on the referee. Because I think the referees are doing a hard job, Shanak. It's very difficult, you know. The referees don't have the technology that international referees have, so it's a thankless job.
It is indeed a thankless task.
Shanaka, you spent some time doing it. No, Shanaka, how come you don't want to make a comeback?
Well, it was that thankless, Jeevan. I think my services are a little bit more effective behind the mic than behind the whistle. Crooked throw. And again, Damit Disanayaka lets the side down. And this is something I don't understand. We were talking about Kandy's professionalism, and throwing into the line out is just something you can do on your own. It's something you have to do on your own, and Disanayaka has just not been able to practice that skill.
You get bad throw, Shanaka, but this one was an absolute shocker. I mean, I don't know what that was. I mean, it just pancaked it through. I mean,
yeah, that was not pretty. You won't like to see the replay of that. Here it is. I mean, luckily Damit Disanayaka is not watching this, but you are on the ThePapare. We've got some great
to all you cake makers. If only rugby was that simple.
Yeah, that really was a shocker. Fazil Marija turning away in disgust almost. So our first weekend of the season, Dialog Rugby 2016, the 15-16 season. And Jayan, I understand you won't be able to make next week's game.
Yes, Shanaka.
Pressing
Unfortunately,
engagement.
I've got a pressing engagement for which I'm, what can I say?
You're obliged to be present.
Yeah, and I can't afford to be red carded on that one.
Well, I'm sure you're already in the book. Jayan gets married next Saturday, and our best wishes to him as life as he knows it ends. But back live here with the ball bouncing about and Kandy Sports Club coming away with the ball, but the tackle being made on Ruchi Dharmapala, who gets up and walks off like there was nothing in it, which is always good to see. It's one thing I really admire about international players is none of them react to a small push in the back. Here we see it here, Ruchi Dharmapala taking off and Nishan Pereira making the tackle, going through with the tackle. Good to see that didn't flare up into anything. Free kick. Don't know whether it was an early engagement, but Muthutantri goes off and finds nobody wanting to tackle him. Rahul De Silva now with Ganuka Disanayaka running onto it. It's predictable from Havelocks, but it's effective if they get it right. Rimzi Jamaldeen puts it onto his boot. It's well taken in the end by...
Interesting, there was no mark call there, Shanaka.
Well, I think he thought he was outside the 22, but he fell back inside it. And he didn't call the mark in the end. Ball is still alive though, and a little bit scrappy.
Havelock still very much in the game, Shanaka. It's just that they don't seem to have come up with a formula to crack open this Kandy defense. They seem to be picking the wrong options, or even the options they pick haven't quite gone to plan. Execution has kind of let them down. But still it's 3-0 to Kandy.
Yes, I think Kandy will be a little upset they're not up by more. But Havelocks are still trying to play rugby, which is good. It's just this execution, as you said, which has been terrible. The ball just not going to hand. But they've got the right intent. And De Silva puts the ball deep for Jamaldeen, who will return the favour. Oh dear, that's a bad mistake from Rahul De Silva, who has to keep playing on. But the referee has now blown for it, and it was such a bad knock on. Rahul immediately stopped playing, and that could have been dangerous because the player could have picked the ball off him and just scored a try. Which is really unfortunate, coming straight off his shoulder, bouncing forward. And
Like we discussed, Shanak, earlier, the ball coming out of the night sky here is not the easiest to pick because the floodlights are quite low and probably not the greatest. So, that's definitely a bit of a tactic that both teams are looking to exploit.
well spotted there, Jan. Udangamur waits for it and now gives it to his scrum half. Gan Veeraratna dummies. Fazil Marija loops around and creates the overlap. Stepping inside is Vishwamitra Jayasinghe, who stands strong, which is good to see. Arshad Jamaldeen. Straight in from the side is one of the Havelock's players. It's missed by the referee. It doesn't matter because Kandy have the advantage. Boneka Udangamur. His curls flaring in that build-up. Gayan Veeraratna. Now Kandy in the ascendancy. The ball pops out, but they've done enough to recover it. Muthutantri was here a little bit early off the mark. Veeraratna steps off his left foot.
How good has Boneka Udangamur been this season, Shanaka? I mean, he's come in as a bit of an unknown quantity. I personally know of him until I saw him play this season. And he's got a bit of animal about him. It's something you need as a third row forward, someone who's going to put his body on the line.
Yes, we'll come back to that as Piyumal Manchanayaka takes it forward for Kandy. The good old-fashioned tap and go. Here's Heshan Kalhara. Good low tackle on him. And here's some space on the outside. Fazil Marija sees the gap, goes for it. And the ball is knocked forward. So often Marija will score from there and he's able to beat players one-on-one. But that time his luck just let him down.
There was a Fazil Marija special, all except for the score at the last end of it.
We see it from the reverse angle. Good tackle in the end by Sandun Herath, who had come across, and Hiranta Pereira.
I think now we know why Sandun Herath is playing centre, Shanaka.
Yes, I think it's that's exactly why Coach Laga has gone for that. He's a bigger defender and a stronger defender than Nishan Pereira, especially in the face of...
I don't know whether you picked it up, Shanaka, or any of our viewers did, but did you notice how many times Gayan Veeraratne is actually playing scrum half in movements?
Well, I must say, didn't pick that up, Jeevan.
Is it,
It's also partly because his brother Roshan does get involved in a lot of the breakdowns himself, as does Marija. So that might be one reason why.
yeah, but it's interesting. It saves so much of time where you're not waiting for your halfback. You know, it keeps the moment alive. Bad news for Havelock says their main man, Sandun Herath, who I think we just put the... I think I got it wrong. Yeah, I think it's one of the forwards.
This is
in
Jason
black
Melder, is
plate.
it?
Looks like Jason Melder. He's back protesting. Not just because of the amount of weight it carries on a daily basis. It's heavily strapped up, so you can see that Jason has a problem there.
You can't blame the lad for taking a break, Shanaka.
No, you can't. We've all done it in the past at some point. But coming back to Buanek Udangamu, Jan, he started off his rugby in the champion side in 2013 with Dharmaraja, and he played outside centre, and he was a barnstorming runner there. Scored lots of tries outside Rochana Hetty Arachi and Tirina Vijayasinghe, who were the real attacking threats in that Dharmaraja team. That's him with the long hair. But now he's been asked to move to number 8 purely out of necessity for Kandy, because they don't really have a number 8. And although he's really good with ball in hand, Jayan, I don't know whether it comes down to close games like this, whether the core skills of controlling the ball at the back of the scrum, of being a genuine line-out option, of whether those things will let Kandy down, or whether they'll be able to mask those areas given the quality that they have in the back line. That's my only concern, because whether Buanek Udangamu in his first season playing at number 8 or second season playing in the third row, whether he's good enough to play for Sri Lanka, whether he should be able to play at this level so early on in his career in a position like number 8, that's what concerns me about Sri Lankan rugby, really.
I concur with what you're saying, Shanaka. I think he's still very much a work in progress. But you know, like the saying goes, you hire for attitude and you train for skill. He seems to have the desire to be around the park. So I think that's something that can be looked as a long-term investment. I think he's a bit of a find for them.
Most certainly, his body position is fantastic at the back, and that's not something that's easy to coach. And you can already see the heavy scrum under real pressure.
Kandy, Havelock's really under the cosh here, and I don't think Jason Melder's back is going to feel any better. But they really, you know, they just have to go for the old-fashioned Channel 1 ball here, Shanakan, and clear their lines.
So you see the scrum once again under severe pressure. Here is Priyadarshana.
Bye.
And a little bit of a cheeky hand in there by Heshan Kalhara, but
That's a bit of a front rower's nightmare, no? You kick the ball back and it doesn't go anywhere.
Ganuka Disanayaka picks up and tries to buy some space for
That's
his skipper.
very dangerous business, Shanaka. If he got knocked back on the tackle, they were going to have a 5-meter scrum there.
Yes, that was a risky one, but he would argue that he had very little option.
Well, fortune favors the brave, and they've got away with it. They are banking now on their 22. Somewhat relieved to be, not having the goal line at their feet.
So it looks like Situm Piris has entered the grounds in the number 19 jersey. Perhaps Jason Melder is off. We haven't seen who went off yet. Looks like it is Melder, so Piris will come straight into the second row, which means that Havelocks will lose even more weight. Gayan Ratnayaka controls it on the second grab.
Just about to say, Shana, couldn't have sent him in to strengthen the scrum.
No, they couldn't. And that's a really big drive from Kandy. Roshan Veeraratne seems hungry for a try today. His brother gives it out of the back of the hand. Lovely little offload. And now the try is coming for Vishwamitra Jayasinghe. Finishes it off beautifully. Great hands from Gayan Veeraratne. Fazil Marija formed the overlap. And it was good work from Arshad Jamaldeen also, who came into the line and just put Vishwamitra over. So see how it worked out here. A big drive from Kandy on the far side. Had several of the forwards on their backsides. Here it is. Nicely straightened the line there, Arshad Jamaldeen. Good technique from him. And Vishwamitra Jayasinghe was always going to beat the cover defense into the corner. So a good try from Kandy.
Outstanding, Shanaka. Vishwamitra Jayasinghe, as you all know from CR days, is a flyer. You give him any space, he's going to beat you on the outside. But I think it all started a long way back in the line out. Excellent drive, just excellent running. Even the angles, they straightened the line. They could easily have gone sideways and given up all that space. But excellent. That's what you come to expect from Kandy. All too easy, Shanaka.
Yes, it is indeed. And I think the gulf between the two teams is started to become more and more apparent as this game goes on. So it looks like we are reverting back to form where Kandy is miles ahead and the battle is for second place. Arshad Jamaldeen missing that conversion by a long way. Nalaka Virakuri telling him why.
I think Havelocks might have to reconsider how they approach their defense, Shanaka. They just, it goes to show when you're in your 22 and defending, you have to go for man and ball. You can't afford to have players offloading and putting people in space. So it's one for the notes as far as Coach Laga is concerned. And Havelocks have to start playing rugby, or this is going to be all too easy, and we're going to be in for a bit of a, well, I suppose you can't say leather chase. I suppose you can call it a, you're probably going to see all the floodgates open later on.
Yeah, but having said that, it's only one try down, Shanaka. I mean, all we're seeing is Kandy, but you look at the scoreboard, isn't that bad, is it?
Well, it's not. It's just 8-0. A score and a point away. And Havelocks will...
I think the disappointing thing is we're yet to see any real, threat from Havelocks, any real intent. When they get good in good positions, they seem to lack ideas. They seem to lack a game plan on how they're going to crack this defense. So it's not so much the scoreboard that reads doom and gloom. It's just that Havelocks have not yet come to the party, really.
Another messy line out, but comes down safely enough for Rahul De Silva, Jamaldeen, Hiranta Pereira. And now Sandhu Herat, the skipper, trying to see if he can spark something. Brought down by the experienced Veeraratne. He's a Sri Lanka teammate. And now there's space on the blind side, but
that's just
stepping out is Nishan Pereira. That's just shocking work.
He didn't step out, Shanaka. He was running out. He actually stepped in. It is very poor, very poor. A young lad, he's playing his first club season.
I think this is where, Havelocks have to really speed up things, Shanaka. At the breakdown, they just have to keep the phases going and try and catch Kandy on the nap. It's all stand and deliver at the moment, which is playing into the hands of Kandy.
And here we see it once again. Nishan Pereira, he's about a foot outside the touchline, isn't it? I mean, there's no excuse for that sort of thing. You've got to know, like a batsman needs to know where his off stump is, a winger needs to know where his touchline is, surely. A little bit of confusion, but doesn't end up in disaster. Kevin Dixon tries to step his way through, but Marija has other ideas. Kandy flying into that, but Havelocks have done well to defend. Not a great pass from Muthutantri, and under the post, Hiranta Pereira fumbles the ball off his bootlaces. Can't really blame him for that. Muthutantri is not a scrum half, you can see why. And this gives a magnificent attacking opportunity for Kandy Sports Club under the posts. That's simple stuff, isn't it, that Havies are getting wrong today.
Yes, I think Kevin Dixon has just realized the difference between schools rugby and club rugby. Organized defenses, you just can't run like that. You're playing against Kandy, they're not going to let you run like that. Muthutantri, pass could have been better. You couldn't have expected anyone to take it at that point in time, Shanaka. A bit unfair.
Guanika Kudangamua does well by just taking the flank out of the play and giving it to Veeraratne out the back of the hand. Offload doesn't go to hand that time. It did for his brother a few minutes earlier to create the try for Vishwamitra. But not that time around. And now Havelocks are playing a lot of rugby in their own 22. All they need to do is get out of here, get out of there quickly. Rahul De Silva thinks the same. Now Damit, this is Arshad Jamaldeen showing a little bit of his footwork, but unfortunately the ball goes straight into Hiranta Pereira's hands. Hiranta Pereira is not going to make it to the try line. 3 Kandy defenders get to him. Does well to stand up.
Don't release the ball. When it's tackled, you have released and
Oh, that's a tough call. That's a tough call on Hiranta Pereira. I didn't think he was held there.
I disagree, Shanak. I think referee Ranko got that spot on. As he stood up, I thought he got away with it, but well,
let's see here. Hiranta Pereira gets ankle tapped. Lovely ankle tap there. Well, I don't know. Gan Veeranathan, I think that was a wrong call, Jan.
yeah, Shanak, I stand corrected. I think the tackle wasn't complete because it was ankle tap, wasn't it?
Oh dear, this is really not good. Section of the heavy supporting crowd invading the field. This is not something we want to see, and Havelock's really need to take very quick corrective action here because it's their home ground. They need to make sure that there's no infringement or no encroachment. Prasad Madhushankar looks like he's in a bit of strife. Basit having a bit of trouble with Prasad Madhushankar. Not really sure what happened after he picked up that ball. If we can go back to the replay of the tackle, you might be able to see where Madhushankar gets in a bit of trouble. Former CR player, struggled to make the CRNFC A team, but has already scored a couple of tries for Havis, been the in-form hooker so far. And just watch where the injury may have happened. He seems okay at the moment. Here he goes, he picks the ball up. And then, oh dear, there's
a bit of a swinging arm there.
Yep.
Accidental, Shanak.
Well, that's one for the sighting officer to decide, I'm sure.
Purely accidental.
If there is one. And the play has started again, and this is not good because I think that little incident has boiled things over a little bit. Soiri Anthony is in the wars. Udangamua. Sandun Herath having a few words with him. Udangamua has really made an impact in his first season, Jan. It's not only in his playing, but he's had a few yellow cards. He's somebody the opposition tries to target. He does have a penchant for losing his cool a little bit. So that's an area of his game he and Muthu Tantri both need to work on if they're going to be the future of the Sri Lankan third row.
So let's hope all this action has spurred Havelock's Sports Club, Shanaka. They are in the Kandy 22 with a fantastic opportunity. The pendulum seems to have swung their way a bit.
Yes, it has so far. They've got quite a bit of possession, and now Jamaldeen with the long ball out to Sandun Herath. It's a good tackle made by Vishwamitra, who read it well. But Sandun has done well to present the ball to his scrum half. Now Dushmanta Priyadarshana finally gets a run. Madhushankar stepping back inside. That's a good angle he hit. But may have lost the ball.
Move it!
They have
Offside,
lost the ball.
Move that,
And Jamaldeen couldn't kick it out because it was carried back. And Rahul De Silva will now look to counter-attack through Kevin Dixon. Dixon gives it to Nishan Pereira, his teammate, and they bundle him into touch as well. Nishan Pereira just not showing that awareness to step in field, keep the ball alive for another phase. It's something that Sri Lankan wingers just aren't taught to do, is it?
No, I didn't tell
At
advantage.
least he was on the right side of the touchline this time. It's a good hands that finds him some space on the wing, and Damit Disanayak is his second tackle on a winger. He'll be happy with that, but...
To be fair here, I think he just looked up and saw a hook in front of me and thought, you know, maybe I'm going to give this a go. But didn't quite come off because it's a new age hooker in front of him now, and hookers don't let you go that easy.
Yes, it's the Dane Coles model as opposed to the Sean Fitzpatrick model. And Madhushankar, they do well to win the line out Havelocks.
Move it! Namazan, move it!
So they've turned the ball over in the line out a couple of times already. They need to make it count now. Muthu Tantri waits.
Move it!
Dhanuka Disanayaka. Goes with his senior man. Oh, that's great strength by Heshan Kalhara. Outstanding strength from him.
Move it.
Still available. Muthutantri did well to go down there. Now the pick and go from Havelock. This is good tactics from them. Madhushankar borrows his way through. Jamaldeen needs to bring it back inside as Kandy's defense is swarming. Jamaldeen again. Sandun Hera to try and rescue it. Sees a gap. It closes quickly. Sandun with the offload to Kevin Dixon. Dixon gives it off to his wing 3/4. Coming back inside was
Forward.
Randitha.
Walk forward.
And again the execution letting them down. Avi's looking very unstructured. It's the same problem that we observed in the game earlier today. Navy really didn't create too much. They scored tries from loose ball. But CR and FC as well, after the first couple of phases, they seem to not know what to do. And that's apparent here with this Havelock's team as well. Both of you gentlemen are coaches. How do you fix this?
Yeah, this is losing shape, you know. The pick and drive is going well, you know. There was no reason to send the ball wide, you know, because when the moment the ball goes wide, they seem to be, you know, no proper plan, no devoid of any ideas. So maybe they should just keep it tight, you know, keep the ball, play one side of the field. It's not a bad way to play against Kandy.
Muthutantri goes and steps outside of Fazil Marija. Brought down eventually with the help of Soiru Anthony. De Silva. That's a nice deep ball, but Sandun Herath has a lot to do. There you go with the ball to inside ball to Sandun, to Sudarshan Muthutantri. Muthutantri trying to inspire the pink and chocolate jerseys, and it's over for the try. Great work from Rahul De Silva there. Spotted the opening on the right side.
Walk ball.
And Nishan Pereira scores, or does he? The
That's
referee
pretty
seems to have
love,
called
Shankar.
it back.
Walk ball.
Referee seems to have called it back and said it's a knock forward.
Time out.
Let's have a look at the replay.
Father. Out the karapet.
Here we go. And that's knocked off the hands of Kevin Dixon.
So I
And the
believe
ref-
it's been adjudged to be a knock-on, Chanaka.
Yes, it has, Jan. If you can see that from a reverse angle, that's Pereira thought that he had had his New Year's gift.
You know, Shanaka, talking about tactics, you know, there was a scrum there where Muthutantri picked up the ball and made great meters. But was there someone on his shoulder? You know, that's how you crack open this Kandy team. You should have someone come in and be on your shoulder to hit the gap. So I think Havelocks have had quite a few opportunities, but hasn't quite worked.
Like, if you can just go back a little bit before that pass is made to Nishan Pereira, it was a knock on, the line was fine. Soiru Anthony, you can see already asking what the story was. Let's have a look at it again. Pransilu Jayatilaka, the Commonwealth gold medal winner, on the field trying to calm his troops down and inspire them at the same time. Here's Rahul De Silva. Gives it here to Kevin Dixon. And it goes through Dixon's hands and it goes forward. And because Dixon was running forward, it didn't look like it was a knock forward, but it was. And when it went to Nishan Pereira, it was it had already been knocked forward. So the correct call from the referees and the touch judge there. So there's been quite a few stoppages already. And despite the night-time game, we're seeing the players puffing in the big ones. Let's see it here. Well, the controversy is whether that ball went forward or backwards off the hands. Think the referees made the right call, or was that a little harsh?
I'm not too sure, Shanaka. For me,
it knocks Kevin Dixon's hands, it goes past his head. So there is an indication, it goes behind his head. So maybe, to me, it looked like it went backwards. But again, the camera angle is not really side on. It's at an awkward angle where you can't really say. Having said that, the players didn't look too disappointed.
Yeah, I think Nishan Pereira's grimace at the end of it, he knew there was something a little amiss as well. And generally the players' reactions, just like if it's a outside edge to a spinner in cricket, tells a story. And Soiru Anthony had his hands up immediately. Nama Rajapaksa finds it amusing. Don't forget that you can follow ThePapare.com on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube and SoundCloud. You get your SoundCloud recording of this game just a few moments after it finishes up. So, Honorable Minister of Finance, Mr. Ravi Karunanayaka, in the VIP box.
4 minutes. 4 minutes.
Company for me in the commentary box is not as glamorous, but much more fun, I'm sure. Soiru Anthony on the open side, wanting to protect his kicker here. Chanal Dias. Oh, and it's well done by Rahul De Silva, who puts Roshan Weeraratne under real pressure. Kandy still have the ball though, and it's very, very untidy.
Havelock's had a golden opportunity there to foil that scrum of Kandy, but unfortunately Butterfingers let them down there, Shanaka. I thought Kandy got away with it there.
Yeah, Rahul De Silva just couldn't seem to grab the ball. I mean, he just missed it completely.
Well, that's two crucial knock-ons from him already in this game.
Coach! Bye!
And they'll look to put Unagamu under pressure. As I was saying earlier, Jan, picking the ball up at the back of a scrum going back is just one of those number 8 skills that you need to learn from under 15 days perhaps. Not something you can pick up off the cuff, as it were. That's a good right-footed clearance under the circumstances.
Well, Kandy have been the better team, but they continue to leave the gate open, Shanaka.
Yes, it's just 8-0. As Jeevan said on the scoreboard, it's not a massive gap. One little mistake, one ill-timed pass, one turnover can result in a 1-point game. So, if Kandy are to secure themselves, they need to score again and score quickly before half-time.
Move it! No hands!
No, it's lost again. It's Kandy ball again, Shanaka.
So just like the CRNFC versus Navy game earlier today, both sides seem to be winning each other's ball. So consistent line-out play at least. There's no reason why Javi should be losing this ball, because they've got Situm Piris, Chanal Dias, Sudarshan Mudutantri at the back as an option. Got some good lifters in there. Really not sure why it's going awry for them.
Crouch! Bye! Set!
So Roshan Weeraratne to feed a third scrum in as many minutes. And Rahul De Silva manages to disrupt that ball. And Mudutantri now looks for some space, puts it to his boot. Chase needs to be good, and that's good work in the end from the defender covering back. That was Marija.
Half time.
And that's half time, so Havelocks haven't been able to score a point in the first half here. Fazil Marija's team has come close on a few occasions and over the line on one occasion. Vishwamitra Jasingh and the try scorer so far, to add to the penalty put over by Arshad Jamaldeen early in the piece. But gentlemen, it looks like it's going to be a long second half as well. It's been scrappy at times. We've seen moments of magic from some of the players, some good moments of drilling from Kandy Sports Club. But Heavies have to raise their game in the second 40.
Oh yeah, definitely, Shanak. You know, Heavies are lucky to be down by only 8 points. You know, they've hardly managed to put a phase together. You know, 2 phases, 3 phases, and they've lost control of the ball. They got to tighten. They've got to win their lineouts. Scrum has to get tightened up a lot. So a lot to improve on. I mean, Coach Laga, I think, is really going to, you know, have a go at his troops and get them to buckle down and play according to the game plan.
Yes, Coach Laga is not someone to mince his words in the dressing room. Let's see how both these teams come out. Sean Vijay Singh and Tavi Tatulagesi will have some words with their squad of 23. We'll see what the substitutions are when we come back out as well. Already an enforced change for Havelocks with Situm Piris coming in for Jason Melder. So we will see Shehan Patharana coming into the side for sure for Kandy later on in the piece as well, and maybe we might see some of these exciting backs who come on for Kandy Sports Club later on in the piece as well. So the fitness is going to be a telling factor as we go down to the last quarter of this game. But for the moment, we'll be back with second half action on ThePapare.com. Don't go anywhere, and make sure you follow us on the inside out analysis of Dialog Rugby League, on the breakdown as well, our weekly scrutiny of all that is rugby in this weekend. So the first weekend of Dialog Rugby in the year 2016. Lots to look forward to this year on ThePapare.com. But for the moment, keep it tuned for the second 40 minutes of this top of the table clash from the Dialog Rugby A Division League.
Now transact with over 14 million EasyCash customers via Dialog, Etisalat and Hutch. Dial #111# to register today. Now use selected commercial bank ATMs to withdraw EasyCash at your convenience.
Now I can withdraw EasyCash from any commercial bank ATM which displays the EasyCash logo. Select cardless transactions. Select your preferred language. Select EasyCash. Type in the amount you need. Enter your EasyCash account number. You will receive a message onto your mobile. Enter your EasyCash PIN and send to complete your transaction.
Now use commercial bank ATMs to withdraw EasyCash at your convenience. Call 7111 for more information. EasyCash, money in your mobile. Connect to Sri Lanka's largest Wi-Fi network with over 2,500 hotspots across the country. Cafes, restaurants, colleges, hospitals, bus stands, train stations, and many more. Select Dialog Wi-Fi and visit wifi.dialog.lk to register and get your username and password. Choose from 4 easy ways to top up your account. Go Wi-Fi, go Dialog.
Sri Lanka is a small but proud nation, and we know we can conquer the world. So to me, it's important not to settle for anything but the best. Dialog Television is our window to the world. It brings us the widest range of knowledge, information and entertainment from across Sri Lanka and the globe, from education for our kids to the latest movies. Dialog Television, powered by the very latest in digital satellite technology, connects the world to every Sri Lankan home. Dialog is the future today.
Don't be constrained. Be versatile, be flexible. You have the power. Set talk time, SMS and data quotas to match your style and enjoy the full potential of your mobile package. It's my plan from Dialog. Absolute power to you.
To create your own plan, visit www.dialog.lk/myplan or call 1777 for more information.
Now, reserving your train tickets is as easy as reaching for your Dialog mobile. Just dial 444 and get instantly connected with the Dialog Expo Rail ticket reservation service. A new and hassle-free way to discover the breathtaking sights and sounds of Sri Lanka is now conveniently at your fingertips, anytime, anywhere. Dial 444 to reserve your Expo Rail train ticket today. Dialog, the future today.
Dialog Self-Care app is Sri Lanka's first and only award-winning app and is the best in the region with trilingual support. So we further improved the app to give more power and control to you. Even more powerful now, with over 50 dialogue services at your control anytime, any place, in your own preferred language. New services for Club Vision members. Step onto the world of self-care possibilities. Download now for free.
Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I heard of once in a lullaby. Somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue, and the dreams that you tend to dream really do come true. Someday I wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me. Somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly. Birds fly over the rainbow, if happy little bluebirds fly beyond the rainbow, why, oh.
Serving over 240 million customers across Asia. Asiata, advancing Asia.
This is iPhone 6s. Not much has changed, except it responds to the pressure of your finger. So you can peek into stuff. And pop stuff open, which changes how you play a song. Read a text. Read an email. Read the news. Wait, you read the news?
Yep.
Of course you do. Now you can change apps like this, pay at more places like this, and the new color looks like this. It's rose gold, it's awesome. And Siri is more helpful than ever.
Hey Siri, show me photos of tortellini.
Here are some images of tortellini. Maybe get takeout? The camera shoots 4K video now, which changes how your movies look. Nice. Even selfies have changed. Now your screen is the flash. That's gonna get like 1 million likes.
Thanks.
Actually, photos themselves have changed. They move now. You just touch them. So yeah, that's what's changed.
Catch the action live on ThePapare.com.
Not finding touch, and that's a bad mistake again from Havelocks. That's Randita Varnapura.
Yeah. Again, not for the first time, putting themselves under some serious pressure again. You see it again on your screen here. There's absolutely no pressure. There was no runners behind that one. He should have taken that one. You can't drop the ball at this level, Chanaka. That's just, unforgivable.
Inexcusable. As we go back live on the sound feed, I'm sure that our viewers have been watching the start of the second half as Havelock started off pretty well. Welcome back and a happy new year to everyone joining our broadcast, especially those of you who are watching in Kandy, watching your team having an 8-point advantage. So
It's still all to play for, and Havelock started off really well. Unfortunately, unforced errors seem to cost them again. But it seems that Coach Laga seems to have instilled some life into this Kandy Havelock side, and they seem up for it, Chanaka.
yes, he does know how to make you feel a little small and understand the necessity to up your game very quickly as Kevin Dixon gets clattered there by a good chase. Mudutantri with a long ball out to Hiranta Pereira, who needs to put it to his boot and does. That's a better kick from the Heavies, number 12. The chase is not so good though. And now Havelocks have a little bit of a chance. Rahul De Silva finds it inside to the hard-working Mututantri. Here's Rahul De Silva once again. Great reading of the situation by Gayan Veeraratne, but the referee says that number 6 didn't roll away. That's Sudangamua.
This is the moment, Chanaka. I think Havelocks have to get good ground here, put it to the corner, and get the ball off the line, or most importantly, and make Kandy sweat.
Well, I'm not sure about that, Jan. With Rimzi Jamaldeen in your armory, here's the replay of that not rolling away. Bhuvanek Udangamu and Sudarshan Mututantri, both with their curly mops. Udangamu not rolling away and obstructing the ball. So referee Rankotge getting that right on there as Gayan Veeraratne read the situation well. But I'm surprised they didn't take the points. Jan Jamaldeen is in good kicking form. And 8-3 is better than 8-0.
Yeah, having said that, but I think they just feel that momentum is behind them, and you've got a very ambitious throw, but it works out well.
Nice back peel from the front rowers, Ganuka Disanayaka. And now Havies will need to pick and go instead of trying too much fancy stuff. Nice cut back by Hiranta Pereira, but well held up by Soiru Anthony. And then we have Roshan Veeraratne who comes away with it, and that's really bad play from Havies, who are in the ascendancy and then give it away. Kevin Dixon now trying to work the magic he works so often for St. Peter's, for the pink and chocolate boys, but Havelock's defense up so quickly. And there you go with Sudarshan Mututantri. Deputizing at scrum half is Randita Mututantri again. And there's Rahul De Silva. Little dink over the top from Rimzi Jamaldeen.
Wide offside here.
And this is where I'd really like to see Jamaldeen and Rahul De Silva take control of this game. They're both young players, both captains of their schools. Rimzi Jamaldeen captained Royal, Rahul De Silva captained Wesley to a President's Trophy final as well. Jeevan, you know him well. And this is where, with the Kandy defense rushing up, I'd really like to see those two young halves take matters into their own hands, put a little kick, chip kick through, a grubber through, and really force Kandy to think.
Yeah, definitely, Shanaka. They're two very, very able players. Rahul, who I had the honor and privilege of coaching at Wesley, was outstanding talent. He led his team to President's Trophy victory. Jamaldeen played for Royal, played in Bradby Shields. But these are games where, if you want to be a star, if you want to be, the man that you're supposed to be at this level, then these are the games that you've got to do it in. There's no point doing it against minnows. If you want to be remembered, if you want to be a household name in Sri Lankan rugby, these are the opportunities. And there's no reason why any of these players can't take that chance. and grab that opportunity by the hands and make a name for themselves.
And that's not a good kick from Jamaldeen. You can see that he's walking back pretty dejectedly, and he should, because it was a 40-meter kick straight in front. Should have done better.
Wait.
Struck it well enough, but just drifted it wide of the left hand upright.
Change the number.
So snatching at that a little bit earlier than he should have.
It's important they start again, though. They've got Kandy pinned in their own 22, and they're going to receive this 22 dropout. They have to get the ball back and have to keep the momentum going, Shanaka.
Collected that time by Havelocks under the high ball. They haven't been great. De Silva gives it to Ganuka Disanaika, the big Isipatana prop. Rumbles it forward, but he's met with a solid defense. And that's the little chip I was talking about, but it's too far that time, although Rimzi Jamaldeen does clatter the opposition. But I think Sadun Herat might be called for no arms in the tackle as Richie Dharmapala asks him what he thought he was doing. Dharmapala really not impressed by that tackle. Might have been a little high as well. Nothing wrong with that one from Jamaldeen, but I think it was the first one. And that's Srinath Surya Bandara actually on the pitch, is it?
Yeah, it's Suri.
It is Suri, so it's welcome back to club rugby for Surya Bandara. But I think the referee's done well. He's just given Sandun a warning.
I thought the second one was worse than the first one, Shanak. I thought the first one, Sandun Herat's one, was all right. Okay, maybe arms was an issue. The second one was a bit cheap.
Yeah, it depends on the situation.
You know, I thought it was a bit unfortunate, Shanaka. I thought he hit him around the chest, and for the momentum, he just rolled up. It's just one of those things where as a ref, you just have to blow it as well. But as a player, you know, the body positioning is such that it does tend to happen. Not that there was any malice in it. But all in all, Kandy get away with it, and Kandy are now on the 50-meter line and safe from that onslaught from Havelocks.
We've seen a few substitutions being made, so Kandy are emptying their bench. They've got Chehan Pathirana, who has come onto the field in place of Soiru Anthony. I'm really interested for Sean Vijayasinghe to try playing those two players together in the on the flanks. Chehan Pathirana and Soiru Anthony together would change the way they play their rugby, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, I think when
it's well stolen,
we get out of this trend of playing prop forwards in the second row, it free up some space, Shan.
Yeah, it might. Umesh Madhushan doing really well in the lineup there. The Royalist second row, who's now playing at number 6. Very talented player, an underrated player, Umesh Madhushan. That's a nice long ball out, but Sandun Herat wasn't expecting it. A clash of heads there. And Kandy put it into touch.
Forward, no advantage. Advantage. No ball.
It was Mr. Jayasinghe who I think felt the full force of Sadun Herat's head in his ribs.
Yeah, but what a luxury, Shanak, when you can bring players like Lema off the bench.
Oh, that's clattering, isn't it? Again, Sandun Herat and Vishwamitra Jayasinghe, there's absolutely no intent there. He looks a bit groggy, but he'll want to play this game. He's scored a try already. He loves scoring tries and will want another one.
Yeah, but that could have very, very easily have been nasty, Shanak. I think we got away lightly with that one, you know. Not too much of damage. But what a luxury to bring players like Lema off a bench, you know. That's the quality that this Kandy team has. Havelocks too have some players. You know, I would like to see Samantha Lakshan brought in. He's a player who can make something happen. Maybe this is his game.
Yes, he is somebody with that uncanny knack of just sparking something. Muthutantri does well off the back there. Rahul with the ball to Hiranta Pereira, and that offload doesn't go to hand as well. So that's what's let Havies down so much this afternoon or this evening. Nishan Pereira does well to keep it alive, and Muthutantri is once again the first man there.
No advantage.
That was, should have been a penalty against Chehan Pathirana for losing his feet there. But there was a infringement beforehand. Here we go, and this is what players and referees need to be mindful of. Here's the first tackle that happens, and Patrana was his tackler, so he was a tackler, so he could come in there, but he just lost his footing as soon as he got his hands on the ball. So those are the little things that I think sometimes the viewers don't appreciate perhaps as much as the referees need to.
You're going up.
Good scrum there by Havelock's Kishore Jahan, told that he's going up in the scrum.
Scrum pushing inside.
So we're yet to see the excitement of the first half. After the resumption, Sharka, both teams a bit, what can I say, they seem to have gone off the boil a bit.
Yes, you can clearly see Kishore Jahan, who stood up on that side of the scrum. But I think it's been the stoppages as well, Jahan. There's been so many stoppages for injuries and all sorts of things that sometimes the players just lose their momentum as well. And once again, a line out is stolen, so the trend of players winning the other side's ball continues. That's a lovely ball to Vishwamitra Jayasinghe. Arshad Jamaldeen did well, herring in from fullback. You can see Marija committed to that breakdown. Roshan Veeraratne, Udangamua. Good angle run by Damit Dissanayake, but he's short of support, which arrives a little late. And that's a good kick by Roshan Veeraratne. Puts Kevin Dixon under serious pressure. Lavanga Pereira grabs onto him. Does well to bring him down without losing too many yards. And Rahul De Silva now with the big box up and under. Srinath Surya Bandara, he can be really dangerous, but leaves the ball.
You can't. Wait.
Should be a yellow card.
Play on.
The referee says play on, and Sadhu Nehra does exactly that. And that player might be sent to the bin for playing in front of the 10 meters. Don't know who it is, but the referee's been very lenient not to give that away.
Exactly, Shanaka. That could have easily been a yellow card because that was.
I thought there were two players who could have been yellow card. I thought number 8 or the winger was Vishwamitra who didn't retreat the 10 meters. You know, and Havelock's been in a great position, and I suppose you would call that a professional foul.
Yes, it is a game-changing moment. It could have been. And these are the times that the cards need to come out. Sometimes our referees are a little bit card happy, but it's also dangerous to err in the opposite direction. Rimji Jamaldeen, who's apparently very particular about the tees that he kicks from. Remember at Royal he had his kicking tees brought down from England. So
well, the tee better work because one would think that this kick has to go through. If Havelock's, have to take to really push Kandy because they've got opportunity after opportunity. I haven't really picked up any of them.
Yes, it's 8-0 still. And even if it's 8-3 between the two top teams of this Dialog Rugby League. And yes, it's through. So Havelocks get their first points of the evening. That will give them a little bit of confidence. But 8-3 against two of the best attacking teams with some of the best attacking talent. It doesn't speak volumes of the defense of either team. It just speaks to poor attacking, doesn't it?
Kandy haven't got it together, Shanaka. It's half time, Nothing's really happening here. Kandy haven't really done much, since they've come out. They just seem to be content on, playing the corners and, keeping the ball with them, but nothing much has happened.
Well, interesting that a skyrocket almost found its way into the pavilion. That would have been quite interesting if it did. Fell just short. But again, Havelocks managed to get field position and do so nicely. Don't forget that the photographs and videos published on the ThePapare Facebook page are available for purchase at very reasonable rates. For more info on how you can purchase them, if you want to see pictures of you or pictures of your mates, you can email the editor at ThePapare.com. That's editor at ThePapare.com, or call 077 333 0088. Damit Dissanayake throws in. And Pathirana loses it at the back, but somehow Fazil Marija is able to put this one into space. Kevin Dixon steps out of one tackle, but not out of the tackle of Gaan Veeraratne, who is such a strong player. Muscles Kevin Dixon off the ball. Richie Dhamapala access scrum off, and now Marija puts his winger into space. Good work from Vishwamitra Jayasinghe to break the first couple of tackles, and Udangamo is there like the good third row forward he needs to be. Ball is loose. Sashika Jayawardene thumped back in a good tackle from Ganika Dissanayake. Gaan Ratnayake to Gaan Veeraratne. Stepping inside is Richie Dhamapala. And now Lavanga Pereira acts at scrum half. Several players. Rahul De Silva almost getting his hands on the ball.
Advantage, come inside.
Marija flying onto that ball but going nowhere.
You are come inside. No advantage. No, Tarak.
Yeah, needless penalty again.
Number 29.
Penalty for all money.
Come inside.
Absolutely unnecessary. You just
Cross
score
ball.
3 points, now you're going to give it away.
2-9.
And that's a shame
Offside.
because they've just come within touching distance. You can watch the replay here.
That one is
straight over the
elementary mistake. Absolutely uncalled for. Shanaka, what has happened to Arudha Villavara? We haven't seen him all season.
Well, I think he's injured and nursing a knee injury, Jeevan. He did start the season off on the wing, and he did play the Sevens tournament, but unfortunately that's been it. So Heshan Kalhara, who's down, doesn't look too concerned, so I'm sure this is one of those little breather injuries.
If you look at the strappings on the other leg, so it's not his bad leg, so it's always nice to take a break. It's a penalty anyways. Why not?
Why not? Just have a bit of a lie down.
Well, if I was the coach and saw Kalhara with his leg strapped heavily and receiving treatment on the other leg, I'd be very worried, Shanaka.
Yes.
It works. Seems to be working.
He's happy, he's on his feet. And Veeraratne moves this very, very wide. And this is the problem for Kandy. Arshad Jamaldeen is probably the only recognized kicker in that squad, especially now that Nigel Ratwata is not in the team either. Fazil Marija has been known to take the place kicks also, but they don't really have a quality place kicker. Thilina Veerasinghe was outstanding today for Navy. Under the high ball as well. This is Tappe, who seems to have regained the mobility in his knee. And Havies are very lucky that they haven't conceded a further 3 points, and it's still within 5. Straight into the hands of the Kandy players waiting on the halfway line. And again, it looks very much like Kandy are playing the territorial game. Here's Jamaldeen. Met with a really good tackle by Damit Dissanayake.
Play on.
Referee getting a little frustrated and saying just play on.
No.
Rahul De Silva gives a very short ball to Sandun Herath, who, for lack of anything else to do, puts it to his boot and now gives the ball away to the dangerous Roshan Veeraratne. Umesh Madhushan makes the tackle.
You know, that passage of play just shows how clueless can Havelock seem, Shanaka, which is pretty sad because they seem to have a pretty decent side, but don't seem to be having any idea of how they're going to crack open this Kandy side.
Yes, they don't seem to be able to string enough passes together. And Situm Peris piles his weight into this.
He's a tackler.
Can't be a good idea to kick to Kandy, Shanaka. It's never a good option. Because you have players like Srinath Surya Bandara, Fazil Maricha, people who pounce on loose balls. Very interesting breakdown this was, Shan. A lot of talk here, a lot of shouting. It's almost a comedy of errors. You have a man over the ball who's hanging onto the ball. A bit of ping pong on the floor.
Yeah, that was that was something that makes Garrett Williamson tear his hair out when he's watching back home in New Zealand.
And then he's not rolling away, and apparently he's a tackler, so I don't know quite how that works out.
Well, but who would want to be a referee in that situation? Yeah, how did it happen like that, Shanak? I mean,
I don't know how did it get there.
Exactly.
That's
how do you? Yeah, I mean, it gets there. It's.
Once you get that fair, you're always going to be in trouble, no, Shanak, as a referee. I mean, what do you do then?
Yeah, I think by that time the bird has flown the coop.
I suppose you just wait for someone to have a howler and then just pin him for that. I don't know. But then, all in all, I think we're all in agreement that referee Rankotke has had a pretty decent game. He's allowed the game to flow, which is, from a spectator point of view, is what people have, paid money to come and see. Unfortunately, the second half has fallen away a bit, with both teams not really, seizing the initiative.
Indeed, Shanal Dias gets a well-earned rest, so Kandy might be able to win a bit more line-out ball now. Liston Karunanayaka has come in as well with his ponytail.
Ready. Blackers. Move it. Number 8. Not bind it. But you have to bind. All going.
Oh, that's an interesting one.
I'm going up and not bind.
Well, I thought a penalty was imminent because Kandy was going forward and Havelock didn't seem to have the answers to that scrum.
No, that looks like it's Andrew Bradley, who's completely unbound there at number 8. Well, it's a interesting call. Seen referees let much more go.
It's a tough area to referee, isn't it, Shanak? I mean, there's so many things you could blow out in a scrum, I mean, it depends on what you feel compelled to blow as something that's really not helping the scrum or something that's preventing the scrum from being a fair contest. So,
the rule is that one shoulder has to be bound on at least for the number 8, and he clearly wasn't. But whether it made a material impact on the game, I think, is what the referees need to consider. But this kick is by no means a guarantee. But Roshan Veeraratne does much better than he did last time around and has restored the 8-point gap for Kandy. So it's a mountain to climb now for Havelocks. They've got their big players on the park, but they haven't really shown that they have the goods to take them over the line.
Well, the implications are huge here, because if Havies go through the second round games, say, unbeaten, they would still have to beat Kandy in Kandy to win the crown, which is always a tough task. So Havelocks really have to make this count.
Kevin Dixon, and that's a third crucial knock-on from Rahul De Silva. Fazil Maricha is going to beat everyone to the line. Is he? Yes, he is. Easy does it for the Kandy captain. He's just such an outstanding performer in pressure games. Always pops up and sometimes scores brilliant tries, sometimes scores the ugly ones that need to be scored. And this means that Kandy are not going to be assailed this evening at Havelock Park.
So that's probably game, set, match, Shanaka.
Yes, it came off the mistake once again from the inexperienced Kevin Dixon. Under that high ball, knocked it forward. Rahul De Silva knocked it forward again. And Fazil Maricha just put his boot to it and trusted his pace. Kept his composure as well. And managed to score a try that will give Kandy 10 points in the space of a couple of minutes.
I think Havelocks are just better having a go at this, Shanaka. They're better just, getting quick phases off the breakdowns and, just throwing everything at Kandy. This.
Here's a replay. That's the control that Marija had running against Randita, who's a much younger player, but manages to keep his composure as well. Here he goes. He's well aware of the player behind him. Manages to get his body in the way and control the ball on the way down. It's a brilliant bit of technique. It looks easy, but it's far from. Jamaldeen. And again the restart not claimed, but well,
did you see that?
Yeah, it was
a bit of very acrobatic effort for no result, Shanaka.
Absolutely. There's a lot of hard work being done here with no real reward. Dharmapala does well to step his way into the field of play and give his forwards a chance to recycle that ball. Not a skill that a lot of wingers have. Rahul De Silva takes it forward. And Liston Karunatilaka will now pick and go. No, he won't. He'll actually give it to Sudarshan Mututantri. And Gahan Ratnaya gets smashed in the arriving clean out. Oh dear, that could have been so dangerous. One of the Kandy players taking out his own player. Mututantri, who has done so much hard work today to no avail. And that was an inside switch.
No advantage, wide offside.
The issue, Shanaka, is Havelock is not asking. They're not asking any serious questions of this Kandy defense. They seem to be very predictable in what they're going to do next. They seem to be always picking the wrong option. They're like, for example, we just saw Rahul go on the blind side when he was pretty much covered. So unfortunately, they don't seem to be gelling. That key. They seem to lack that X factor in breaking the gain line.
Well, that X factor has always been Danushka Ranjan, Jayan, and they're missing him like a horse would miss its four legs, I guess. It's unbelievable how one-dimensional they look without him. And he's got that one-on-one ability to just create gaps and get behind the defense. The ability which they just don't have among any of the other players. Samantha Lakshan, as you said, Jeevan, I'm surprised he hasn't made an entry as yet, because he is one of those players that can spark something. I think Coach Lagan should maybe perhaps replace Rimji Jamaldeen and hope that Lakshan's experience can do something for these guys.
Yeah, you're not going to play up and down rugby and win this game now, Shanaka. It's beyond the 3-point factor. And Samantha Lakshan is not a bad pace kick either. So no harm in bringing him in, because at the moment, like Jayan said and like you conquered, they lack that X factor. To beat Kandy, you need a bit of that X factor. You need a bit of luck, and you need to create your own luck in situations like this, and it's just not happening.
The forwards picking and going, but going laterally. Unless they keep this up and get some quick ball, it's again going to be a lot of effort. Good strength by the Kandy defense there. They look like they've turned it over.
Knocked by right.
So knocked forward.
Story of Havelock's game, Shanaka. Pick and go, lost the ball forward.
Well, these players are professional players, Jeevan. They make a good living playing rugby at club level, and these are not the sort of mistakes. I mean, if you had this sort of performance in your job, your 9 to 5, which paid you probably less than this, you'd be out on your backside.
Correct, Shanaka. What are these people's excuse? They're paid to play, and if you're paid to play rugby, then you've got to do better than this. I think we can all agree on that. But you can't say that one player is not there, so it all falls apart. I mean, he's not the only player who's paid to play, is he?
No, it's not. And Danushka Ranjan is watching this. He'd ask for a raise in his pay packet, that's for sure. Say, just take a few thousand rupees off what you're giving everyone else. And Andrew Bradley. And here's a nice inside ball from Dushmantha Priyadarshana, well read by Sasika Jayawardena, though they saw Dushmantha coming from a mile off. Nice inside switch, though. Good to see Rahul De Silva trying something. Mututantri, he has been the go-to man, but hasn't been able to spark anything. Kandy have marked him very tight, and now there's some space for Dixon. Tries to step his way through the maze of Kandy defenders. But Sachika Jayawardene has already made some telling tackles in this movement.
Move it. Wide, move it.
That's another one from him. And Situm Piris gets clattered. But the players don't roll away. So Dushmanta Priyadarshana now will go and try to bustle his way over the line, and it looks like it was scored.
I thought that was a try, Janaka.
I thought it was a try too. We'll try and see a replay of that if we can get it.
I felt that there was downward pressure, and I thought the ball was on the line there.
10-meter penalty again.
And under the new rules, John, you don't even need the downward pressure if the ball was on the line in contact with a Havelock's player. Let's watch it here carefully. There he goes. It's still in his hand, Dushmanta Priyadarshana's, and he manages to put it down there unless, well, the referee is completely unsighted there. Completely unsighted. So there's no way he could have seen that. And Rahul De Silva, I think, had the best view of it, and he knows he's not getting any joy there. Udangamu having some ice applied to the face. The
Bonaga having a facial. Well, he might as well, because at the moment, he's had a trouble-free evening, but Havelock's in a great position to make this interesting, Shanaka.
Well, if they get to 10 points, which is the maximum they can get to, still an 8-point game. But it might set the cat among the Kandy pigeons. Who knows? Time is off, obviously. Rahul De Silva.
Well, here's one player with the X factor, it's Pushpa Kumar Shanaka.
Here we go, it's Andrew Bradley. Hiranta Pereira manages to make it available nicely. And now Andrew gives it to Dushmanta Priyadarshana. Should have offloaded there, but does so now. Kevin Dixon in for the corner. Oh, dearie me. That's Nishan Pereira who spills that one cold.
Wait.
Well, this is interesting. Irshad Kada having a chat with Aruna Rankodge. And the try is given. So Kevin Dixon manages to score the try after Nishan Pereira had dropped the ball behind him. Let's watch this replay and see what the confusion was all about. Dixon gives it to Nishan Pereira. That goes back off his foot as well. And Kevin Dixon just falls over when Richie Dharmapala loses it. Surya Bandara watches on. It's a comic try, but there's nothing really wrong with it.
No, actually they got it spot on, Shanaka. That's the referee's call is correct. I was confused. I didn't know what on earth happened there. But referee saw it correctly and they called it correctly. I think Nishan Pereira should thank his lucky stars. Because the second one he's botched. But luckily his teammate and captain Kevin Dixon managed to make amends.
So this is a crucial kick for Jamaldeen. Hasn't been in that unerring form that he was against CRNFC. And that's well wide to the right hand upright as well. So not a good day for Brimsey. Here's another replay. We see the front on angle. That's Nishan losing it. Tries to recover. Richie Dharmapala gets his hands on the ball. Might have been a case to be made that Nishan interfered with the ball while he was on the floor. But,
But to be fair to Nishan, seeing that replay, Shanaka, the pass was not the greatest. It was behind him, running at full tilt. It's one of those awkward ones to take.
This is the execution that's let Havelocks down today. Muthutanthre deciding to do it all himself now. Udangamua. Veeraratne. Veeraratne looks like he's moved to fullback. And now it's available for
a good tackle there, Shanaka.
Outstanding tackle, and
tackle
once
there by
again it's
Marija.
just Fazil Marija, isn't it? Sadun Herat.
Lost again in contact there, lost again.
Move it, move it.
Veeraratne. Replacement prop forward on the park. And now there's numbers for Kandy. This one is going to be an easy try, is it? The cover getting across. And
The
Kevin
pass could have been
Dixon.
better there. I thought they botched that try. It was there for the takings, but Kandy's still on the offensive.
Jayawardena. Now Kandy are lining up. Damit Disanayaka. Eshan Kalhara. Shaken off that knee injury. And once again Marija.
Ball back.
Such a deceptive turn of pace. Stepping in, stepping out is Gayan Veeraratne, so strong. And now going blindside is Lavanga Pereira. Looks for his arriving support players.
Knock ball. No advantage.
Havelock did well to keep Kandy at bay there. I thought Kandy had the numbers on the outside there, and perhaps Boneka's pass were a bit too weak. Shanaka, got that out wide, and had the player coming at pace, and they were over there. So Havelock still hanging on by the skin of their teeth.
Yeah, Boneka's centre experience didn't show there, Shanaka. That was a real, pancake pass again.
Yeah, it was not pretty. Well, there's 3 minutes more on the clock, according to referee Aruna Rankogge's watch. Let's see what the pass is like here. Here's Udangamua. And yeah, it was nowhere. Gayan Veeraratne had a lot of work to do. If he managed to catch that ball in front of him, then Veeraratne could have probably stepped off his right foot, and he's so strong, broken that tackle. But because he had to lose his momentum reaching for the ball behind him, it's something the New Zealand junior rugby coaches do, and it's almost catch pass is a verb now, isn't it, Jeevan? Don't forget that if you are at the ground and you're a Kandy fan, you can add more zest to your game by downloading the ThePapare fan app. Download the app from the ThePapare fan zone on the Google Play Store, and you can head to the grounds and form your own cheer squad. That's my first rugby coach in the background there. Jonathan Rajaratnam, maybe you remember him.
The game must have changed a tad bit since then, Shanaka.
Yes, just a little.
It's still oval ball, Shanaka.
That's pretty much the only thing that's remained the same, and the dimensions of the field, but an early engagement.
Forgot to tap.
Well, it's all happening for Havelocks, is it all not happening for Havelocks? Muthutanthre has been the lone star in the Havelock sky tonight. Strange that we haven't seen Niroshan Pereira either. Also maybe injured. Havelock's suffering a raft of injuries as Samantha Lakshan is finally on the park.
Oh, move it, move it, move it, move it. Scrums. Good ball.
This is the problem, Shanaka. When Havelocks have got the ball back, they've always had scrappy ball. They've never had clean ball. They've been far too slow in recycling the ball, giving Kandy ample time to organize their defenses. When you play Kandy, you need to have them on the hop. That's the only way you're going to beat them. And I get the impression that Havelocks have played straight into Kandy's hands today. The try this score was somewhat fortuitous, but you have to make your own luck, and Havelock seem to have been a bit short on ideas this evening.
Yes, it's something that the Havelocks management will have to think about and wonder whether they need to make a few changes to their training regime. Muthutanthre comes away with it and loses the ball once again. That's a good defense from the base of the scrum by Kandy.
No advantage. No advantage. Look by right.
when you see your best player doing that, Shanaka, it pretty much sums up your evening.
White ball.
Yes, we haven't seen a shot of Coach Laga, but I'm sure his face on the bench will be interesting, to say the least.
And the irony is that this is the second best team in Sri Lanka, Shanaka.
Indeed, and although it's only 10 points on the scoreboard, as Jan was saying a little earlier, the gulf has been much wider than that. Udangamwa goes to Roshan Weeraratne, who might have thought about the drop goal for a few moments. Again, even for Kandy, the execution letting them down. Little offload to Iris.
Advantage.
Kandy lying all over that ball there, not rolling away, so I'm surprised the card hasn't come out.
The last 2 minutes, you could tap and go. There's nothing else you can do.
Sandun Herat doing exactly that. Herat to Mudutantri, this year's captain to last year's. Situn Piris, which is Rohit Rajapaksa.
No.
Mudutantri picks and goes. Andrew, that fast seemed a tad forward, but beautiful angle from Dushmanta Priyadarshana. Surprised he hasn't seen more of the ball this evening. Rohita stands well in the tackle from one of the best defenders in Sri Lanka, that's Gayan Weeraratne. Liston Karunatilaka taken just above the bootlaces by Attanagoda. And that's a good offload. Sandun Herat gets it to Kevin Dixon. Dixon tries to step outside, but Richie Dharmapala covers him well. And the young fullback is devoid of any ideas, and it would seem not having much patience either. So as we hear the final whistle being blown with Coach Laga looking a little dismayed, to say the least. Who would your one of the match be, gentlemen? We've had some good performances. Who would you pick?
I would still probably have to go with Fazil Marija, Sean. I thought, when everyone else was losing their heads, he kept his, and his experience really showed today. And Kandy just did enough to get over the line. I don't think they were really pushed all the way by Havelock. I thought it was a bit disappointing in that aspect. It wasn't the cliffhanger we thought it would be, but Fazil Marija is my man.
Well, that's Sean Vijayasinghe, who's a much happier coach than we saw earlier on. And he too knows, Jeevan, you can see he's not smiling too much, he's not jumping up and down, so he knows as well that this was a below par performance from Kandy, and there's plenty of work to be done.
Yeah, he wasn't great, Shanaka. It's written all over his face. He's not too happy. We'll see. It's a win is a win. But like Jayan said, I think Fazil Marija still stood out today. His class, I think that's all that prevailed today. It was his class.
18 points to 8. That's how it finishes here at the Havelock's grounds on our first double-header day of the year 2016. A very happy new year to all of you. I think the Kandy fans will be having a happier new year than the Havies fans here at Havelock Park. But under the floodlights, we've seen a scrappy but still dominant game from the Kandy Sports Club. They scored 2 tries as opposed to Kandy's won the final try. A breakaway from Fazil Marija sealed the game, and a real poor day as well in the place kicking stakes. Arshad Jamaldeen putting a couple of penalties over, but Rimzi Jamaldeen's kicked the only one for Havelock. So man of the match, Fazil Marija, as picked by Jayan and Jeevan in the commentary box. And from all of us here at ThePapare.com, it's welcome to 2016 as we wind down the first round of the Dialog Rugby A Division League. We'll be back with the second round action and a lot more to look forward to on ThePapare.com in the course of the year. Don't forget to join us for the breakdown as well, which will be up in a couple of days, looking back at this weekend's action. Big thanks to Dinuk Bhaskar and the rest of the crew for an outstanding coverage today on ThePapare.com. We'll be back next week. For the moment, it's goodbye from us.
Now transact with over 14 million EasyCash customers via Dialog, Etisalat and Hutch. Dial #111# to register today. Now use selected commercial bank ATMs to withdraw EasyCash at your convenience.
Now I can withdraw Easy Cash from any commercial bank ATM which displays the Easy Cash logo. Select cardless transactions. Select your preferred language. Select Easy Cash. Type in the amount you need. Enter your Easy Cash account number. You will receive a message onto your mobile. Enter your Easy Cash PIN and send to complete your transaction.
Now use commercial bank ATMs to withdraw Easy Cash at your convenience. Call 7111 for more information. Easy Cash, money in your mobile. Connect to Sri Lanka's largest Wi-Fi network with over 2,500 hotspots across the country. Cafes, restaurants, colleges, hospitals, bus stands, train stations and many more. Select Dialog Wi-Fi and visit wi-fi.dialog.lk to register and get your username and password. Choose from 4 easy ways to top up your account. Go Wi-Fi, go Dialog.
Sri Lanka is a small but proud nation, and we know we can conquer the world. So to me, it's important not to settle for anything but the best. Dialog Television is our window to the world. It brings us the widest range of knowledge, information and entertainment from across Sri Lanka and the globe, from education for our kids to the latest movies. Dialog Television, powered by the very latest in digital satellite technology, connects the world to every Sri Lankan home. Dialog is the future today.
Don't be constrained. Be versatile, be flexible. You have the power. Set talk time, SMS and data quotas to match your style and enjoy the full potential of your mobile package. It's my plan from Dialog. Absolute power to you.
To create your own plan, visit www.dialog.lk/myplan or call 1777 for more information.
Now, reserving your train tickets is as easy as reaching for your Dialog mobile. Just dial 444 and get instantly connected with the Dialog Expo Rail ticket reservation service. A new and hassle-free way to discover the breathtaking sights and sounds of Sri Lanka is now conveniently at your fingertips, anytime, anywhere. Dial 444 to reserve your Expo Rail train ticket today. Dialog, the future today.
Dialog Self-Care app is Sri Lanka's first and only award-winning app and is the best in the region with trilingual support. So we further improved the app to give more power and control to you. Even more powerful now, with over 50 dialogue services at your control anytime, any place, in your own preferred language. New services for Club Vision members. Step onto the world of self-care possibilities. Download now for free.
This is iPhone 6s. Not much has changed, except it responds to the pressure of your finger. So you can peek into stuff. And pop stuff open, which changes how you play a song. Read a text. Read an email. Read the news. Wait, you read the news?
Yep.
Of course you do. Now you can change apps like this. Pay at more places like this. And the new color looks like this. It's rose gold, it's awesome. And Siri is more helpful than ever.
Hey Siri, show me photos of tortellini.
Here are some images of tortellini. Maybe get takeout? The camera shoots 4K video now, which changes how your movies look. Nice. Even selfies have changed. Now your screen is the flash. That's gonna get like 1 million likes.
Thanks.
Actually, photos themselves have changed. They move now. You just touch them. So yeah, that's what's changed.
Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I heard of once in a lullaby. Somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue. The dreams that you tend to dream really do come true. Someday I wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me.
serving over 240 million customers across Asia. Axiata, advancing Asia.
Catch the action live on ThePapare.com.